Hi, it's Peg, and I am still jelly printing. Yes, the month is not over yet, and I am still jelly printing from Birgit Koopsen's month-long challenge. And the challenge for day 27 was burlap. Okay, I am not going to do burlap. I don't like the smell of burlap. It's just, I don't know, there's something about it. So what am I going to do? I'm going to substitute, and I'm going to use cheesecloth. You can just get this at your dollar store. It's inexpensive enough. And I'm going to use cheesecloth to get my texture, because that's really what she's doing, is she's using it for texture. So let's get some paint on here. Let's get a mixture, I think. Get a little bit of blue and a little bit of green going here. This is a green gold, and that was a primary cyan. Get my rag up here because I've got it all over my hands already. And because of that, I'm going to grab some, protect yourself from these things. You know, get some glove in a bottle or something to put on your skin when you're doing this kind of work. Okay, so I've got my paint down. Get my brayer, and we'll just blend that out. I've got more than enough paint for both of these. So, I'm going to do that and get my cardstock. And I want, let's see, I want my fabric, of course, my cheesecloth. I'm going to put that down on there and on here. I'm going to just press that lightly in to get my texture and lift that off. And then I'm going to print. See what we can get. So there's that texture. From the cheesecloth, right? Now let's do it on something a little more colorful. I've still got plenty on here. I'm just going to add that. Okay, so now that we've done cheesecloth rather than burlap, let's do our own version of Vaseline Resist. I'm sure I have some Vaseline around here someplace, but that's not what I came up with this morning. What I did find is I had some of this soft paste wax. So I'm just going to, I had a screwdriver out here. Okay, found my screwdriver, got the lid off of this paste wax. And this is just some regular old car wax. I've got a rag here. This is a piece of t-shirt that I'm going to use with the wax. And let's take one of those printed papers that we just did and a stencil. I've got a stencil here. This is a Stencil Girl stencil from Stegmiller S317. Being on the design team with Stencil Girl, I have a lot of Stencil Girl stencils, so let's just use them for this project. Alright, so I'm going to put that over here. Just get my paste wax. Get a little bit of that on my rag, and then I'm going to buff it into the open areas of my stencil. Have it act as a resist. You will need to wash your stencil after doing this, just to get that wax off of there. And I would recommend using something like some, Dawn dish soap that cuts through stuff like wax and all of that. Let's see if we see it. Yeah, you can see the wax. Let's see if I can get it up here. You can see it. There's a wax finish on there. All right. Let's do, that was the one that we did with the burlap. Let's take another one of those papers that we did the other day. Get my wax loaded up here onto this. Just get that rubbed into the background. So, if you got wax out in the garage, okay, you can really see it on there. If you got wax out in the garage, you don't have to go out and get any new products. You just use what you have, right? Okay, so I will put this aside. And let's get our plate ready for printing. Because the wax should resist. So let's see, we've got kind of a gold tone there, a green tone here. Let's do a mixture of, this is a olive, and I've got a turquoise. To the bottom of that one. So let's get that blended out. I want to add just a touch of this dark titanium white. Let me get it over here. Okay, so let's print the small one here, and this one on, let's do it this way here. Let's see what we can get. There's the resist on that piece. Let's see what we get on this one. There's the resist on that piece. Still got a lot of good stuff here, so I'm going to come back and pick that up with that titanium white. Oh, that's a pretty print. Okay, let's see what we get here. There we go. Okay, now the ones that have the wax on them, you can see it's kind of soaked through to the back side of this because this is real thin paper. But once this is dry, okay, so I think that's fairly dry now. What I want to do is just take a rag or a tissue, and I want to buff that off of there. Make sure I'm picking up that waxy stuff. See, it has that shiny finish. You may even want to put a coat of matte finish over that. Those are pretty cool. Okay, so we did our version of Vaseline. Remember the other day I did a wax resist just using the microglaze. So, I mean, any waxy crayon, microglaze, wax is going to resist on the gel plate. Just remember that. So next up is embossing folders. Okay, so yeah, embossing folders, you can do embossing folders. I have embossing folders here, but what I've done is I ran some paper through, and you can use either side of this, you know, depending on whether you want one or the other. And I can also use the embossing folder, so it depends on what you want to do. I think I'm going to use the papers that I've done here, just because I've got choices by having done this, and I've created a texture plate now, running that through there. So I'm going to put some of this shiny, excuse me, I need to mute my phone. Oh, it is muted. It's one that's not muted is my iPad. Okay. Which is there. Okay. All right. Now we're in business. Okay, so I put some of this Craft Smart. It's kind of a pink tourmaline rose, it says. So let's see what this does. Looks a little transparent. So let's just drop a little bit of this deco art into it. This is a coral shell. This color should be pretty together. And gotta clean up here. I'm going to take my plate, and I think I want to use it this way for the first time. So I'm going to put this down. I'm not going to rub real hard. I don't want to push all those surfaces in. See if I can get that up. Oh yeah, see what I've got here? Okay, so I'm going to take that textured card that we did earlier, and I'm going to pick up a print off of here with that. There's the pull. Let's see what we get with our print. Not very impressive, but the thing is, I can doodle over that. I needed more contrast. So let's do the other side. And on the other side, what do I want? Let's print on, here I've got a piece of this gold that we did the other day. And let's go back to that pink. And this time I'm going to add a little bit of, just a drop of raw umber to that. Darken it, just a hair. There, it's just a drop. Just very fluid paint. Okay, so now we've got that. Take the other side of our embossing, put that down gently here. I'm going to lift that. There's our cherries. Might not have done it enough, but we'll see what we get on the gold. Not real impressed with that either. Okay, maybe cherries are not my thing. And maybe this paint is not my thing. Let's go with the Deco Art Metallic. This is a Emperor's Gold. I don't know. I haven't used this Craft Smart stuff before, so it might be the paint. Might just be too translucent. And to that Deco Art Gold, I want to add a touch of this coral. Make it a little more coral. I seem to be losing the gold here. I have to add a little more. There we go. That's making me happier. Now I've got too much paint, so I'm going to pull a little bit back. Whoops. I'm pulling more than I want to pull back. All right. So now I'm going to take my texture plate, and again, we have two choices, right? I'm going to do this side here. And flip it over and do this side here. That's pretty cool. And now I need some paper. So let's print this one on one of these prints that we did the other day. I like that. And then let's do this one on this color print from the other day. All right. Like that. And not so much that one. That one's going to take some doodles. Okay. So let me see what else we need to do here. We need to grab something and clean this off real quick. Because the very last one is text. There's a lot of things that you can do with text on a gel plate too. Of course, you can use old book paper that's got text on it. I've got some text from an old sheet music, and that's always fun. I've got some stencils, of course, and let's see, where did I put my text? Here we go. Here's the sheet music. So we can do it two ways with this. Let's get a little bit of that umber and some, this is antiquing cream. I don't want that. I want some of this. I want this to look a little more antique. Get my blend going here. So if I just print, pulling through a stencil, say, like this. I can get that. Now I've got a little bit left on here. I want to pull it through. Clean out those holes. And this print is my good print. Make sure I get good surface contact on this one. And there's our print. Okay. Still got some stuff there. Still got some stuff here. I think I'm going to do a little bit of that gold. Oops. Going over the edge here. Didn't want to do that. I want to pull that on this same piece. You can still see the text through there. And this may be translucent enough if I just do a light print. Yes, it is. And we get this. Whoops, forgot one last thing. We need to do a stencil text. So I have this stencil. I think this one, if I am correct, is Jessica Sporn Stencil Girl one. It says, I am becoming. I'm going to put that down on here, and I'm going to grab that piece of paper that we had printed before. I don't have to do the whole thing if I don't want to. I can just do those words at the top. Let's see if I can get those words at the top, the text. There we go. Becoming. And you notice that this is upside down. That's intentional. I need it to be upside down in order for it to print properly. So if I want to pick up some of these other words, I can just come back with another piece. Pull that through. There's text. I'm going to clean all those holes out really well. And we'll see if we can get the rest of that clean up. And I'm going to use some tissue paper for the cleanup. Make sure that I get all of that out of those areas of the stencil. And take my tissue and we'll print that. And we have text. I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Be sure and give Forget some love for all the hard work she did putting this whole challenge together. It's been a lot of fun. Today we did the cheesecloth, the wax, the embossing folder, and the text. So, see you again soon.